Yeah,
Like when
but
you
the
said
stream
we
is
start,
delayed a little bit. The stream is a little bit delayed.
yeah.
There we go. Hell yes. It's kind of we need more people. I can't talk for 90 minutes, fam. It's
Uh,
he,
Shit, I could always
actually
bitch about something.
no, it's fine. How about per no to FFT patrons $20 plus. There we go. Ay 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 ay.
Let's see.
Let's
Oh yeah,
drink some of
yesterday
this
I've been
tea.
clearing out my
Hell,
dad's storage pod in the driveway.
hello, everyone in the chat. The great crowds of Fast Food Thursday. I have COVID. Yeah, that's it. I have COVID. Actually, weirdly enough, I'm in less pain and feverishness than on Tuesday, but I'm kind of like more tired.
Hmm.
I
That's
have like a
interesting.
low level type fever. I had a really weird back pain yesterday. I wasn't even doing anything. I was like lifting a casserole out of the oven. And then my
Hmm.
back was like, "Yep, you are now 60 years old, my man." I was like, but I have like those like rolls, those
Yeah.
cylinders that you can roll around on. Yeah, I used that a couple times, and now I'm okay.
Okay,
I
are you occasionally hearing a weird crackling coming from my mic in the background?
Not really. No, you just still sound like you kind of inside of a big drum.
Okay, because like the neighbors are doing something with a nail gun, I'm not sure what, and I think my mic might be picking it up once in a while.
That's
I tried
fine.
turning the sensitivity
You have been on stream here like by the side of the highway.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a different level of detail. This is really odd. Why are they not? Why is no one showing up? They're all paying.
Who knows? Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, I
Ah,
was clearing that storage pod yesterday. That's been fun.
the what?
Oh yeah, so when my dad first moved up here, he had to get all his shit moved with a storage pod, and like you know how you can get like those get like a storage unit, right?
Yeah.
It's like that, but it's almost like a miniature shipping container, and you can just like rent one out and use it to like move your shit across like the state or the country or whatever.
Hang on though, but why is it a miniature shipping container? Couldn't you
Well,
just get a
it's
shipping container?
well that's expensive, and you also can't
How?
rent them for that.
But why? How are they? Because there's like fucking 10 trillion of them, and they're all standardized. And hello, Burrito Power. How is the weather
Hello.
up there in Norway?
Cloudy.
I didn't
Oh no,
really
no,
catch
clear.
that. You seem to
Uh,
have.
yeah, yeah, I moved away from the mic. Clear. It's
Okay,
clear.
let me turn you down there for a second. It's clear. That's nice to hear, my man.
Here, I'll post
How is it
some
in
pictures of what we're talking
Germany?
about. So you guys can
Let me stand up real quick and look out the window. I'll be back in a minute.
All
okay.
right. Pods.
Yes. Had to clear. I've been clearing one of those out. That's been sitting in my dad's driveway for a little bit. It's use it to move all the stuff up from where he was living in SoCal to where he's living.
It's
Uh-huh.
dark.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
Bert, this is
dark.
what I'm talking about. These are what they're
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, but like I would imagine like just economies of scale that these might be more expensive to manufacture. But then I'm not an
They,
expert on shipping, so
I mean, they're basically just like shipping containers with a different that are much smaller, and have a different access as point of getting there. Like the main difference is that one, these are mainly used by like storage unit company type things like U-Haul does these. There's entire companies devoted to this storage units. sell these as well. It's it's like a different thing though. Like with shipping containers, I don't know if you could just get those shipped to your house. I don't think that's like something you're allowed to do.
You could steal one is the thing. I'm pretty sure that's the thing about shipping containers is that they're actually owned by the companies that have the logos on them or something. I don't know. I'm not an
Yeah,
expert on ship.
mhm.
I went to a few lectures about shipping containers, but that's it.
I mean, that's the same deal with these. You're basically just renting out like you would rent a storage unit, except you can actually move it if you like move some.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like some of them you can only move it between facilities. Some of them you can only move it. You can move it to your house. My dad's got it in the driveway, and I've just been like emptying it out.
It's incredible that whoever just pinged me in video gaming waited for me to start the stream to do that. The post that I posted in there was hours ago.
It was
Yeah.
necessary.
This is now I consider this malicious. Whatever, it couldn't be that this person just only now saw that and like decided to be helpful. This has to be them like being malicious.
Clearly, clearly.
I'm looking at the election predictions for the election in North Rhine-Westphalia. I don't. When is it? The NRV, because ours was like last Sunday. Yes. When is it? 15th of May. So it's this Sunday. Ours was last Sunday, and the fucking Conservatives won by a landslide. The Social Democrats dropped below the Greens. Fucking massive AIDS. And this one looks like it's gonna be like 30 to 32% Conservatives. Some say putting like the Social Democrats at just below 30%. The Greens at like 16 to 18%. The Liberals 6 to 8%. The left is definitely not going to make it into Parliament again. The
Just German elections.
The AFD definitely is at 7%. This actually, from what I can see here, this kind of spells good for the for the good guys. Let me just do the math here. 17. Yeah, so whichever party wins, wants to form a government coalition, is gonna need both the Greens and the Liberals. Now, the federal government is already a traffic light coalition of Social Democrats, Greens, and Liberals. But here we have what we call a Jamaica coalition of Conservatives, Greens, and Liberals. So one would hope that somehow the Social Democrats string that, and they end up being the ones who can woo the Greens and Liberals.
This is the national election? Or?
No, this is the state election in the state with the most inhabitants.
Okay.
Where I was
So
born, North Rhine-Westphalia. Berlin is a city-state.
Wait, do you have city-states in Germany?
Yes, we
As
have
like
3 of them.
legislators.
Yes.
Damn. So which ones are those? There's Berlin, Hamburg, and
Bremen.
where's Bremen?
It's like between Hamburg and the other. It's I think between Niedersachsen and it's right in the middle of Niedersachsen. I thought it was in like the border area. No, it's actually right in the middle of Niedersachsen. They just got that thing, and then they have like an exclave on the coast called Bremerhaven, which apparently is a really fucking lit place to hang out. Yeah, it's right. It's pretty funny that like people make fun of Bremen being a city-state because it's like It's not one of the biggest cities in Germany. It's not one of the small. It's like like a mid-tier sized city, and they have their own city-state. Meanwhile, you have like some of the biggest metropolises in fucking Germany: Cologne, Düsseldorf, Essen, and they're all in North Rhine-Westphalia. Like it's basically a huge metroplex state. Let me see. NRW Einwohnerzahl. Yeah, that's like almost 18 million people living there. And
Okay, not bad.
Berlin is barely 4 million.
Okay, excuse me if I sound very non-committal. I'm just trying to do investment right now.
Please don't invest in NFTs or crypto, my man.
Dude, have you not been seeing me for the last fucking week laughing at that shit?
I don't know. People
Bro.
get you're upper class, man. You people get some weird ideas.
No, but seriously, my dad's super against NFTs, and for once, I'm thinking he's pretty okay on this front.
Damn.
You know, Bird, talking of elections...
Like, if
we
a
actually
fucking
have
banker is telling you NFTs aren't very good, like, you fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, Bird, talking of elections, we actually got a primary election coming up in my state next month.
Oh yeah, we had our local
Wait,
May...
hang on. Primaries for for state elections. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you showed me some of those candidates actually.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah,
got one insane schizoid manifesto on it. It's just...
It's surprisingly little. Yeah, but I'm really pissed off that where I live, the Conservatives won with such an absolute landslide. Like, it's not even like they made 12 percentage points. So many Social Democrats just stopped voting. And fucking the Greens. Even in my they didn't get a single direct mandate. Not even the fucking woman that I voted for in my district won. Instead, it was some green.
Yeah. I just wish over in my state we actually had options to vote for like duopoly candidates. We can. It's just if we do, it's just gonna mean more votes for fucking Republicans. I just wish I had more of a choice than fucking A or B.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm saying this. I'm saying this from like a position of absolute luxury. Like I was able to vote for. I even in my state, I was able to vote like my second vote. General elections, you get 2 votes. You get 1 vote for the direct candidate that represents your district, and the other one is just you voted for a list, and they then get the other half of the seats in parliament. And we have one. So there's a 5% hurdle. If you don't get 5%, you don't get into parliament unless you have a direct mandate. Which is actually why the Left Party, is in parliament, the like federal parliament, because they didn't make it across the 5% hurdle for the first time in a while, but they got like 2 direct mandates. In any case, I was able to vote for like there's like a Danish minority in this state, and they have their own party, and the rule is in Germany that if you are a minority group and form your own political party, like you have to be a very specific kind of ethnic minority group, then the 5% hurdle doesn't count for you. Which is kind of undemocratic, but at the same time, this party is like solidly leftist and really based, so I voted for them.
I mean, for us, at least here in California, anyway, from what I'm seeing, the closest thing we have to this party is the Peace and Freedom Party. But, since they're an outside party, they're not going to get fucking votes.
Yeah, you have this first past the post bullshit. Oh, no, I mean, it's not really first past, but you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, we have I think I've said this before, but, we have, the French, what was it called again? Parliamentary elections coming up, like in June sometime.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm still looking at who to vote for. To be honest, I've got no fucking clue.
Yeah, like I'll be real. I used to be kind of on my high horse a little bit, in that I would only vote for third party on principle, and now it's a bitter pill to swallow, but I understand.
Mm.
It's like, oh, priest, look at this. It's the most important election of your lifetime.
I genuinely want to punch anyone who fucking says that to
Don't
me.
you want to make sure Roe v. Wade doesn't get overturned? That you have to
Christ, I
vote
can't
Democrats
stand that.
into the legislature, because clearly, as we have seen the last 50 years, where they had several moments where they could have even passed constitutional amendments to secure the right to abortion for women in the fucking constitution, they didn't do it.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like I want to punch them
Hello.
half the time because they are right. Just
Hello.
not really.
Oh, it's Cody.
I saw a really
am.
fucking lit post today where
Nice.
somebody said, I wish Democrats fought to keep Roe v. Wade as hard as they fought against Bernie Sanders.
True.
I'm like, yo, that kind of tracks, dude.
that is a-
That's-
That is a vibe. Holy
No, you just
shit.
got to vote harder. Don't take into account
Yeah.
the fact that they had a supermajority in Congress and the Senate,
yeah, yeah.
and then still didn't. And then Obama said, "Well, it's not really our priority right now to do abortion stuff, so we're just
Yeah.
going to focus on bipartisanship.
It fucking should have been, brother. It fucking should have been.
Just vote hard. Just vote harder."
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, why would the Democrats really push that hard for abortion? Because, I mean, once they codify abortion in the law, they lose all that donation money.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like, so why the fuck would they do anything about it against the Republicans?
Now they can
For the
basically...
Democratic standpoint, this is a fucking gold mine.
This actually, I
against-
think Koklinski made this point that potentially this is what might save Democrats in the midterms.
Hmm.
Yeah, it might.
You think so?
Yeah,
Yeah, because a lot of people were disempowered by recent developments that the Democrats have basically done fucking nothing, and so the main reason people voted for Biden in 2020 was to get Trump out. So propping up this boogeyman again of the Republican Party, which, to be fair, they are the boogeyman. They're fucking terrible.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that
no
makes
shit.
it so that they are seen as the better option. It's like, oh, vote for us now so you can get your rights back. So they have this new thing that they can level. And if they're smart, they'll use it. But they're
Yeah.
not smart, so they probably won't.
they could do the inverse of what the Republicans have been doing to like rally as like their fucking mega conservative religious nuts for like, oh, vote for us and then we'll get rid of abortion. They could do the other way around and say, vote for us and we will make abortion be a thing, and thereby mobilize more fringe leftist elements, or like elements who
actually
care about
wanna
basic
ask-
human
As it
freedoms.
stands right now, what the Democrats are doing is having Joe Manchin block resolutions to give abortion rights to people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that
Actually,
Joe
I've got-
Manchin. I saw that Joe Manchin pulled that shit. I'm like, where the fuck is the guillotine? We just need to kill this motherfucker.
can anyone tell me any Democratic Party positions that Joe
Can
Manchin
I-
holds?
Can
'Cause
I
honestly
don't know.
know.
Can I ask, just for the Americans in the
Mhm.
call,
Yeah.
how? I know it might vary state to state, but how
hmm
conservative are police?
Very.
Uh,
Like,
I mean,
I need you to understand something. Police departments like have records on the FBI as heavily being infiltrated by white supremacist groups. Like the
Yeah.
FBI has investigated
no.
police departments all over the
Yeah,
country.
no, I understand. I understand that concept. I was just asking because, like, I can
is-
understand. I can understand it might be like very differing from state to state. Maybe it's different in California, and it's just infiltrated by cartels and
I
drug
can't.
lords.
No, it's almost entirely white supremacist groups.
Yeah, like here in South Dakota, the Southern Poverty Law Center was like they did like a local, well, not even them, but like our local newspaper did an investigation into a couple police departments, not here in Sioux Falls, but in the surrounding cities. And it's like, yeah, there are literal members from Identity Europa in the police, and
The
Identity
fuck are they doing in
Europa
America?
that they're an established hate group in the
But what are
United
they doing?
States.
They're supposed to be here in Europe. What the fuck are you doing with our white supremacists? You fucking
I mean,
idiots.
Oh,
Dude,
Burger,
Burger, wait till you
Burger.
realize that there are Nazis in America too.
This is cultural
What?
appropriation, dude.
True.
Hey, Burger,
You
guess what?
Americans
It's
and
what
your
we do,
cultural
man. We take
appropriation.
all the good shit from your country and we steal it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like their
Gross.
biggest membership here in the States is in a town called Brookings, and the only connection that I think Brookings has to Europe is that they have a cheese factory from the company that makes Baby Bell cheese. You know those little cheeses.
Damn, I love those.
And yeah, Baby Bell has a factory in Brookings, and Brookings also has like the largest Identity Europa like membership.
Because my guess
Man.
is what they mean by European identity, they mean white people. They mean just people who are white.
Yeah. It's a white supremacist group, which is weird because it's like the state has like the population is 92% white. So what the fuck do you have to worry about? The next largest group is American Indians.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing with like
like-
Oregon. Like Oregon has a huge white supremacist population, and they have a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
small minority population.
And
God,
then
you know,
there's
talking
talking
Portland.
Native- Talking
Okay, so
Native-
Portland is obviously like a very diverse area, but even still, Portland is heavily like white. Like it's still more
Yeah.
white than most areas.
I know a
and not only
guy
that,
who
the
lives.
police department in Portland is one of the worst in the country.
Yeah.
Like they like I am convinced there is not a single person in Portland PD who is not a Nazi.
I have a friend here in well, it's an acquaintance that I think is very cool. He's from Portland here in Kiel. He lives here. Yeah, and he basically says the same shit. It's
Damn.
a
Yeah.
strange place.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
friends
yeah,
in
yeah.
Portland, and it's not great.
Well, it's the same. Like what it is in Portland. It's the same in almost every other city in the United States. Is that the police in those cities don't live in those cities. They live in like the suburbs around the city.
Yeah, I mean, same's true of Orlando. Like,
Yeah.
OPD, like everyone just comes in from like outside of like the actual like city area, and then they come in and they're fucking.
Which is
Show their asses.
insane. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, going off of Native Americans, someone brought that up earlier, right? I recently got like a poll text for policy issues, and the only thing on the fucking poll was for a policy affecting Native American casinos, and I'm like, we're in the middle of a homelessness crisis, another fucking drought. Home prices are skyrocketing, and we got Roe v. Wade about to fucking collapse. And
But
you're
those
worried
fucking
about fucking gambling laws.
yeah, those goddamn Indians, they're making way too much money in their casinos.
Actually, it was legislature to expand and what they can do there.
Oh, well, I mean,
Christ.
huh.
Green-
Fuck casinos. I don't get.
Casinos are
I
great.
get that Native Americans have some sort of like deep entrenched like cultural elements involved with like a gambling practices or whatever, but still, fuck casinos. I don't care. They weren't playing.
Yeah.
They weren't playing. It's not
Okay,
like
you
there
know-
was like some huge cultural fucking like
Yeah.
impotence to play blackjack in fucking
You know-
native tribes.
well, yeah,
No,
Revere.
it wasn't that there was like any kind of deep cultural thing. It was just that was the only thing they were really allowed to do,
You know,
in term of having like their own businesses.
It's like how the Jews were forced into doing Jew
Yeah, that's-
jobs.
Dude, why don't we
Yeah.
have more conspiracies about Native Americans controlling
Yeah.
the world?
Certainly the casinos.
yeah.
what? Burger, that was actually what I was like about to go on about. Is like I see a lot of similarities there. It's fucking wild how that works.
I mean, it's kind of, let's be honest, it's like reparations, but only impoverished people who are addicted to gambling pay them, and also the Native Americans themselves pay them, because,
Yeah.
they're going to be the primary victims of that gambling.
Not to mention
know,
that money's only going to go to a handful of people while the rest get scraps.
Some of them have, there's some tribes that have like a UBI that's derived from these casinos.
Wait,
Yeah.
UBI as in Universal Basic
Yeah,
Income?
there's
Yeah,
certain-
as in the
so
proceeds
it's-
from the
And
casinos
more
get given, partially get given out to the rest of the tribe.
yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got
Damn, that is.
like,
Okay, you know what?
this was actually
Indian
one I learned.
casinos aren't that bad.
I don't know which tribes do that. I don't know if because around here it's the Seminole tribe that own a lot of the casinos.
Oh yeah, you're in Florida, aren't you?
Yeah,
This is
there's
really
not many in
name.
Orlando, but they like in Hollywood, Florida. I think there's some, and in like fucking I don't know.
You know what's
Well,
surprising
yeah,
about the
it's
Seminole
mostly in southern
Yeah,
Florida.
like southern Florida, like more swampy.
Yeah.
This
Like,
is how
you
you
know
know
what's-
that America was like people moved there and founded towns too quickly, is that they have the same names for places.
Yeah,
They
that's
just
pretty
couldn't
common
Yeah.
in Florida,
be
especially.
fucked to come up with a new name. It's like, yeah, let's just
I
also
re-
call this
I
Hollywood.
recently moved to Melbourne, Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, yeah,
how-
like,
You know
like,
what's interesting about the Seminole tribe? From what I understand, it is I think they were part of the Cherokee tribe? Was it
The Cherokee.
yeah.
Cherokee? Not
I've
Cherokee.
never heard someone
sorry.
mispronounce that before because it's like the default of what
Yeah,
Native
that's like-
Americans
Well,
are.
I'm sorry. I'm not that entrenched with like Native American.
I'm too much of a
pronunciations,
colonialist.
No, I'm too much of an imperialist
Yes.
smug bastard.
Yes,
to
I
live
live
in
in
saying
Chelsea.
It'd be like if you mispronounce Zulu. Like if you
The
How can you
Zulus,
mispronounce
dude.
Zulu though?
The Zulus.
just Zulu.
I mean,
No,
to be fair,
Zulus.
he is French, so.
No, but what's interesting about the Seminole is I think they're part Cherokee and part black, like escaped slave black people.
Yeah,
Like
there's
they
a
only
lot of
came
like.
around. They only came around by like the I want to say 1600s. I think was the correct date. Aroundish 1600s, 1700s.
How do you know
around that
this but
time.
don't know how to pronounce Cherokee, dude?
Because I'm a fucking because I'm.
Oh,
fucking
because of
imperialist scout.
EU4.
No,
So
I don't
I'm
play.
so-
EU4.
I'm so- I'm
it's,
so-
it's actually not Cherokee. It's mostly Creek.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I-
Yeah, I got confused. I was
I was like-
Creek with Cherokee.
I was like, why would they be Cherokee? Cherokees weren't even like in Florida. They were like fucking expelled to Wyoming mostly.
Yeah, like the Seminoles were expelled to Wyoming as well, or not
no,
to
the Seminoles
Wyoming.
were not
and
actually.
then-
The Seminoles were not because they couldn't. Because they fucking tried. They weren't able to.
well, no, wait. There's like a Seminole?
So no, the
When
Seminole.
the Trail of
who
Tears
got-
happened, I don't even know if Florida was a part of the United States yet. I think it might have still been a part of the Spanish Empire. You had essentially the whole thing where Andrew Jackson went down into Florida and basically raped his way through the fucking state, and had his armies absolutely fucking destroyed by like tribal raiding parties.
Do you ever,
Yeah,
do
to
you
go
ever
off of
notice?
that though, Josh, to like explain something about Native American ancestry in the U.S. To a degree, most people have it, but that's mostly because if your family was around basically any time before 1900, at some point you had ancestors that either probably raped Native Americans or might have been raped in retribution by Native Americans.
Or consensual relationships with rival. That was also a thing that happened.
I mean, it was the thing that happened, but let's be
It
real.
was more common. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I was right. I was right. No, like one of the largest Native American nations in Oklahoma is a Seminole Nation with like 20. Yeah, and it's
Freeze, Native Americans are not orcs. You can have
And-
relationships with them.
and
can't-
they mostly
I would say
consist of Seminoles and Black
initially
Seminoles.
it wasn't like that.
Have you ever noticed that the name of the state, Florida,
Yeah.
is very similar sounding to the name of the hip hop artist Flo Rida?
Yes.
I wonder if there's some sort of connection there.
Actually, if I can just quickly branch off from what we were saying before about conservatives, you know what I fucking hate most?
Don't say
How-
the N-word now. Please don't say the N-word.
I won't. No, I'm gonna say yeah. No, but the thing is it's not necessarily conservatives, but we have this very conservative mindset in the UK, almost as bad as in the US when it comes to sex, when it comes to anything nudity wise.
Yeah.
Like to the point where I'm gonna post a link right now in studio chat. I want you guys to read it. I don't think it's too bad. Well, it's absolutely it's disgustingly small, but
I can't.
The thing
I
you just
can't.
posted, I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. I'm not reading that.
I'm gonna
Hang on,
post a very
I'll read it
appropriate GIF. Fuck.
Yeah, no,
Fucking shit!
get
I
this.
said GIF.
So hang on. This is by the way for a modding community for a game. Okay, so it reads sigh, like literally the word sigh as the first word in the post. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I hate that I have to post this, but here goes. This horny mod spread is frankly wild. In fairness, we've gone a shockingly long time with the ability to import 3D assets in Kitbash, and for the most part, people have been pretty cool with access to those tools. There have been a few times where there's been some issues with people doing EULA breaking things, like trying to port Harry Potter into Warhammer 2 or whatever. By the way, this is for Total War games, because yes, I'm an extremely fucking big nerd. Fuck you all.
It's not. Total War's not that nerdy.
It kinda is.
EU4 is nerdy, dude.
What? EU4 is not nerdy, it's a faggot game.
How dare you.
Wow, you just made it. Honestly, EU4 sounded really cringe until you said that. Now it sounds base.
Yeah.
And of course, you'll get one or two low quality, not safe for work mods along the way that'll get smacked down and vanish pretty quickly. On the whole, it's been cool, but I'm going to clarify a few points here now that the vibe are changing with Warhammer 3. There is a no tolerance policy in effect that these not safe for work mods. I don't want to see them, I don't want to reference them, I don't want to talk about them, I don't want to help you make them. This is not the place for that. Firstly, they're simply a breach in EULA and threaten your standing of able to even mod this game through GW Goodwill, GW being Games Workshop. Creative Assembly had to fight to even get Dave, which is like the unit creator, so how you create new units in the game, and the ability to read mod pack files in Warhammer 1, as the game for a long time was going to not have any mod support, resting right now entirely on the good graces of both companies and the very impressive work of people breaking borders, namely Frodo, Phaser, and Hero, which are all big modders in the scene. Can I just say, before I read the second part, I have no problem with this whatsoever. I was not even going to comment on this. I was going to continue about my day as a normal human being. You know, this is completely acceptable. You know, like, you don't want to see horny modding on Games Workshop, on like a game. You don't want to talk about it. It's not, you know, it's not very safe for work, right?
No, that's unacceptable.
How? No.
Paul.
However, and listen to the second part. Secondly, and most importantly, this stuff is morally reprehensible. In bold.
And you lost me.
Exactly. I was completely fine with this, and then you ruined it. The fact that people can't go 5 minutes, even in a war-centric, typically top-down game such as Total War, has nothing to do with the fact that you can mod not safe for works, by the way. That, like, for fuck's sake. Without sexualizing the only female characters on their screen is hostile, full stop. It plays into this weird system of treating half your population as dolls or puppets, sometimes that can be controlled and used and exist solely for eye candy for boys. And there's a star right next to there where he then later on clarifies, yes, it's absolutely not just straight men that can perpetuate this. I apologize for this obvious bias here. Nice save, asshole.
Okay, so what if we just throw in mods that makes everybody naked? Am I fine then?
Exactly. That's what I had this discussion.
Sexualize everyone,
and by the way,
all of the time.
Yeah, like, is it okay if, like, I change the portrait of Benjamin Franklin just to just to him having his dick out.
Give him
'Cause
a
I think that would be-
massive cock, dude. Just,
Oh
Okay,
yeah, like
so-
a massive cock with like a huge bush, and you could just see
that
the
would be
stink
great,
line
but-
coming off of it.
Yeah.
Because nobody bathed back then.
call it.
Oh my
He
gosh.
calls it the kite.
Oh, and get this. So I don't care about your yums, and I'm not interested in yucking them. Those previous statements seem to disprove that, brother.
I don't know. What that
But there are
means.
loads of fairly healthy ways to channel whatever your horniness needs that don't create this weird environment where a female character is only as relevant as the size of their booba. Play the game, respect the media, treat your fictitious characters as something other than an object of your desire.
But
and get
they're
off within-
fictitious characters.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
literally
There's-
not real.
Oh.
Just as an aside, Lovers Lab, the forum where they exchange and publish not safe for work mods, has forums for Crusader Kings 2, Crusader Kings 3, and Stellaris. Not the other Paradox games for some reason.
Speaking
But that makes sense for
That is
Crusader.
literally me right now.
Well, I guess it makes sense for Crusader Kings because you can like marry off your daughter and then turn around and
Yeah.
have sex with her. So
Yeah.
I don't understand why they have it for Stellaris, but that's some weird fetish shit that is outside my jurisdiction.
oh yeah, it's aliens, so you can fuck aliens.
Did you know?
You're German. Weird fetishes shit is never
Oh
outside.
my
I
gosh.
that's
And
the
yet-
thing. The German weird fetish shit is mostly disgusting, and I ain't into that.
Okay, so the most popular mod for CK2 is called Lock Up Your Daughters.
Oh, this is for when you play as the Austrians.
Oh my Wait, can I just finish? So, real quick. And get off within the comfort of your own home in a way that doesn't perpetuate some garbage societal habit. Thanks. And no, as stated above, I don't care if you want to see some nips. The point here is that it breeds a hostile environment for gender being sexualized when their only representation is constantly being sexualized. This happened in 3K, which is a previous game, caused a stir and an uncomfortable environment, and in a setting where it's already pretty male-dominated, both Total War and Warhammer. Literally one of the main characters in this game, as well as the previous games, has been like female characters. Not to say there's like a lot of female characters. Like he does mean a good point. Like there are quite a lot of playable male characters, but at the same time, like the main character in this new release was Katrina, the Ice Queen, the leader of Kislev.
But
You're talking about
I'm
Warhammer.
looking-
You're talking about Warhammer.
I'm desperately looking for what the point here is that you're trying to get to. I
Yeah.
need it, please.
There is no
really
point.
It was such a long road to this. What's your point?
From what I can gather, this
My
this
point
per-
is you didn't have to add the it is morally reprehensible. It's like it's fine that you say it's we don't want to talk about it. It's another thing entirely when you say it's morally reprehensible. Like as soon as you do that, you put yourself in the same box as a Republican or ultra conservative who wants to ban fucking abortions.
I hate.
Yeah,
And
so this
same-sex marriage. No, like to me that is the same thing.
I need
As
you to
soon
take
as
that
you-
back immediately because that's a ridiculous fucking statement.
No, I am not. I am going to.
Okay, you're a
repeat that
fucking
statement
monster and I
for-
fucking hate you. What the fuck is wrong with you?
No, but as soon as you use
No,
morally
saying
repre-
that video game boobies is bad for sexual culture is not the same thing as saying we're going to force
but
women to
saying-
have children.
saying it is morally reprehensible to me is putting yourself in the same position. Do not use the word
Maybe the
morally
same like
reprehensible.
neighborhood.
Hey guys,
Okay,
look at this
fair
weird
enough,
It's
but
the,
then
it's
no.
like the
This guy.
fucking
It's
Saying
like-
cheating at board games is morally reprehensible is the same thing as murder. I don't fucking like what. I don't.
No,
I
it
don't.
is not.
Is there,
I don't
is there
think
a
that's
mod?
the
Is there
aspect
a,
of conservatism he means.
is there is there, Is there a mod for Victoria 2 where Otto von Bismarck just fucks the shit out of Queen
That
Victoria
would be
and
very
like
funny.
and fucks her so hard that like all the layers of makeup just falls off her face and you see the horrible monster that's underneath all the makeup.
But that's just her
And that
soul.
and that's how the British Empire collapses and gets taken over by Germany.
Frankly, I wouldn't have wanted to see that. That would
Look,
have
I'm
ended.
sure you could get Shindal to write something like that. If
That
he's
would
that
have
horny.
ended poorly for the world, I think. Yeah. Speaking of fucking Warhammer, by the way, no, actually, this is something I wanted to say. I fucking hate. Look, I love feminism, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
Fucking
it's
big
alright.
time.
Don't say it.
But I find like after all, I wish that what the conservatives have been saying about it for years had been right. That the world would just become increasingly more degenerate, and we would just have more sex in the streets. But
Yeah.
that didn't happen. We just have a different kind of like don't have sex police.
Here's the thing, right?
Also now.
Here's the thing. The problem is not the sexualization of women, it's the sexualization of women in a particular manner that takes away agency. And obviously, that can be good in certain circumstances. But the point of sexual liberation is not to have control over women as an object for male attention. Like you can make like a sexually free society where you don't have these coercive elements. But it's kind of like, I don't know, like if you're in an area and people are just constantly talking about how much they want to fuck women and like objectify them or something like that, it does make some women uncomfortable.
That may well be true, but it would be the same. You know, you can't. There's a difference between. My brain is clogged with COVID right now. There's a difference between like you say this very rationally and you're very correct, but there's like the people who ultimately end up being the ones who dedicate their lives to like enforcing these moral standards and not the ones who are like normal about this.
I mean, it depends. I don't really know exactly what you're talking about because in this circumstance, it's a mod on a Discord that I don't even know the name of.
No, this isn't about the mod of the Discord of the whatever the fuck. I don't even know what. This is just the broader
I think it was-
societal.
yeah.
I hate that sex feminists, sex negative feminists.
Yeah, sex negative feminists are
exist.
shit because
Yeah.
chances are sex negative feminists oftentimes coincide with like TERFs and like other types of like regressive types of attitudes
Yeah,
towards
that's just
sex,
the extra
sexuality,
thing
and
that I
gender.
don't like about them.
But the thing is, right? You don't necessarily have to be sex negative to disagree with certain forms of sexualization.
No, I'm fully on board with like that. You don't walk up to women and you're like, "Oh, I want to fucking fuck you in the car." That's like
Fuck you in the cock.
I
say that to women every day.
Yeah, that's when they're not TERFs.
Yeah, when you're not turds, you walk up to people and say,
I just
"We'll fuck you in
remembered.
the cock."
I just remembered that one incel YouTuber who's like on the run from the cops right now because he posted that video of him going through a parking garage at like 2 a.m. and there's all these girls getting out of the club. And he just walks up to him and talks about like, "Hey, you want to suck my dick? You want to fuck?" And then like eventually his harassment caused like one of them to pepper spray him, and they just all started beating the shit out of him, and he ran
Oh
away.
yeah, I
Based.
saw Moist Critical
Good.
talking about that the other
Yeah,
day.
yeah, and because, well, and they were like, well, it was pointed out that like in the United States, self-defense can also include you feeling threatened, and it was like,
Yeah.
those women were absolutely right to fucking go after him because he was.
I mean, if
mean,
you're following people around and when they're not interested in you,
Dang,
like yelling at them and shit like that, eventually it leads to conflict.
yeah. So I don't know if he's been arrested yet or not. I hope he is. Because you look at his previous videos, the dude's just like an incel piece of shit.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
Yeah, see, shit like this is why
speaking of
I'm not
YouTube.
linked.
Wait, hold on, you talking about Baked Alaska?
No,
Yeah,
it
because
was
I remember he got
another
pepper
dude.
did
sprayed
that?
for something like that.
Yeah. Oh, and I was mistaken. He didn't get pepper sprayed. He pepper sprayed them because they started. Because because he was harassing them, talking about wanting to fuck them and calling them whores and shit,
Mhm.
and so they started following him, telling him to get the fuck out of here, fuck off, and so he pepper sprayed them and then ran away.
I like that they handled it like this. That they like went ahead and stood up for themselves against this asshole. I'm really into that. I like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
idea of women being like self-possessed and feeling like they have agency. That's pretty
Mhm.
lit.
Yeah, I did like at the end of the video when he pepper sprayed like this group of women, and then he went and then he went and ran away. And while he was running away, you saw other women run up and try to sweep him, so he tripped. They couldn't because they were like really drunk, but they still tried to stop him. You know, because it's like he just like attacked like 5 or 6 women with pepper spray. So that was
Yeah.
pretty
Honestly,
cool.
something that amazes me more is that nobody tried to fucking choke slam this dumbass.
Well, there,
Yeah.
it was, that was where it was like there was only like women around. It was just like there was no like men or anything, and it's like
odd.
it was, yeah,
Because like usually when when the fucking there's fellas around and you do any sort of like
yeah.
I think this shit looks like
you are fucking decked, which is I like this. Maybe this is why they reacted in such a proactive manner.
yeah,
Um,
because apparently he's got a pretty well, but before his YouTube account was deleted or banned or suspended, he had a fairly popular YouTube channel where he just did this. He'd walk up to women and just harass the fuck out of them, like whether they were coming out of a club or just on their lunch break or something. He just
Jeez.
pulled his
what a
shit.
hilarious
What a
concept,
cunt.
dude! What a
Yeah.
What a fucking cunt.
social experiment, God!
What a
this
social
man
experiment,
is.
Yeah, it's just like it's just I don't know, incels. I just don't understand them. They just
I understand incels. They are very they have internal problems that they can't deal with, and they have issues with their attitudes towards women, and they project that outward to say that the problem is in fact with 50% of the population that owns a vagina.
It's literally
Yeah.
this. Like
It's literally this.
it's
I love
just
that one.
this.
Yeah, true.
yeah.
There's a pipeline to this, and the pipeline is that we don't give a shit
It
about
is.
male problems.
It is very true. Yeah, that is a very big problem.
And there's like a bunch of fucking people who really, really want to grab you out of the water and make you into a misogynist.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a-
because they make money out of it.
and the shitty
Well-
part is the people who do that then perpetuate the same systems that cause those problems.
Yeah. It's not like
Like
they
the whole-
care.
No, they just want to give them a thing to latch onto. They want to give them an explanation for why they feel like shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jordan Peterson's a weird example though, because he has his ideology is very strange to me.
I love Jordan Peterson. He is one of the most interesting, and I say interesting very deliberately, intellectuals of our time. He has...
There's a lot of words that are doing a lot of work in that sense.
Yeah.
Intellectual is a little bit of a
I
stretch
know,
there.
he's straight up, he is an intellectual. He's just, like, wrong.
I guess anyone can be an intellectual.
That's true, but he's like a actually very educated guy in the field of...
Just not on the things he talks about.
I mean,
like when it comes to fucking what's his face?
The term postmodernist neo-Marxist is such a hodgepodge of contradictory
No, I'm
bullshit.
talking
it
more
makes
like
zero sense.
what's the word? The other guy. The
other
guy
guy.
who is not Freud.
The guy who is not Freud.
Yes.
Jung?
There's a
Jung.
lot of guys
There's
that
a-
are not
most
Freud.
people are not
His
Freud.
Jungian philosophy.
Jungian, okay.
That's the
Jungian.
kind of he knows actually like a lot about like Jungian philosophy and the whole
Sure.
old school literary theory shit. The whole neo-Marxist bullshit where he's basically researching, googling who is Hegel. That's a different. I wouldn't like. He's just banking on his legitimacy as like a psychotherapist.
Yeah.
To psychoanalyst
even
actually.
his-
Yeah.
Even from what I've heard, his work in psychoanalysis, though, like, he does a lot of things, like, at least the things that he mentions in his book that other psychoanalysts have looked at and are like, this is not how you should do this, like, at all. This is not how you should treat a patient.
Well, that might be like a professional disagreement. I can't really comment on that. I do know that
I'm not a psychoanalyst, so I
yeah.
can't really comment either.
I do know, like, psychoanalysis is anyway. It's for like, let's say it's not for people who have real problems. It's for like mid-50s businessmen who are having a midlife crisis. That's why you do psychoanalysis. I know a few people. He has
No.
this thing called
What? No, psychoanalysis is for your general, like, psychotherapy.
No, this is
Like, if you
different.
go to
A
a doctor-
psychotherapist is a different approach to it. I could explain this better if my head wasn't like this.
Well,
No, you'd still be trash burger.
I'm off to bed.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
See you around, man. Anyway, well, something
wanna-
that I do know about Jordan Peterson is that he made like way before he became, you know, he had this thing called the self-authoring suite, sort of self-authoring program, and I know that I actually got that for a few people, and it said that it did help them a lot. But this was like before he became fucking famous. Okay, I have to real quick make
Yes,
the screen visible.
psychoanalysis is the same thing. Like, psychotherapy is a discipline under psychoanalysis that includes things like, you know, cognitive behavioral therapy and shit like that. But the function of psychoanalysis is to find, like, mental disorders that you have and treat them.
Yeah, but it's not. It's about the practice of it. I don't know. This is such a like weird psychotherapy culture thing. But the people who were trained psychoanalysts tend to be more of a specific school of therapy that doesn't even use the word patient but client, that I have also forgotten the name of, and they're more like geared toward affluent people. Like when Howard Hamlin.
So it's a scam.
No, it's not
So
a
it's a
scam.
scam.
They do help them, and they're geared a lot toward like people who work in high pressure environments, to help them cope, like business executives and shit. I'm sure psychoanalysis can be very helpful to people in like with more. I don't even want to say more serious conditions, but it's just the culture of it is more geared toward like, I'm going to help you become better, not I'm going to help you fix your problems. If that makes sense. It might not.
Yeah, I guess. I'm usually, though, psychoanalysis also covers like other problems, like I have schizophrenia or something. Like, now, obviously, like usually, what is it? Psychiatry is usually the thing that does that because it deals a lot more with like medications.
Yeah.
But as far as I understand it, psychotherapy is under psychoanalysis. Psychoanalysis is just more the broad. It's like saying physics and science. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure that's true, but I won't disagree with you on this because I don't know that it isn't true either. I mean, it's a
psychologists.
I'm not sure it's a super meaningful conversation anyway because there's like hard lines between these things. It's all like ideas and social constructs and shit.
Mm-hmm. Sure. You talk to a person, you make them feel better in some way.
Yeah. Shit. Somebody fucking caught me. I've been caught in 4K. Oh shit.
How'd they catch you?
Oh yeah.
What'd you do?
I fucking I'm the chairman of this uni group, and I actually I was a co-organizer of the biggest Warhammer tournament in like Europe over the weekend, which is where I caught COVID, by the way.
Damn.
Probably. I still don't know anything about Warhammer, but I did co-organize that tournament because I was the chairman of this organization. And some people there have figured out I'm a YouTuber, but they have,
no.
on my request,
Oh,
kept
no.
quiet about it. But now it seems that during the stream, somebody like posted in the Discord server of theirs to add me to like, I didn't know you were a YouTuber. I'm like, oh, I didn't want people to know this. I didn't want people to fucking know this.
Damn.
I mean, they were gonna find out.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
they're
like
watching right now.
a lot of people did find out, but they didn't like. You know, they approached me privately and was like, dude, I saw you on YouTube, man. I'm like, yeah, I do Shadowrun videos. This is how I was originally discovered, is that somebody wanted to get into Shadowrun and was like, I'm going to Google Shadowrun lore. And
That was me. Yeah, I found.
No,
your
that wasn't.
books-
No, I meant like the not you, but like in this organization. Unless you
okay.
also
That's
live in
how-
Kiel, Germany, and go to the.
No, but that's what happened with me too. Is I
Yeah.
googled your stuff on bug spirits, and your video was like one of the first ones to come up.
I love that somehow these are the videos that like drag people in, but then they stay for whatever the fuck else it is I do. That's very
Well, because
cool.
you're looking up something specific,
Yeah.
and so and let's be honest, there are not many people who make videos on Shadowrun bug spirits.
That's very
I mean,
true.
for me, I got fed your millennial communism video, and that's eventually what led me down the Shadowrun pipeline.
I need to do a part 2 on that one. I actually
Now that you're based,
I actually, you know, I don't really disagree with the original video. I just think some things should be clarified, in the sense that it's not necessarily communism that doesn't work. It's the implementation of communism that doesn't work. That's the thing where it failed. It's not that the ideas behind
the
it
theory
are
the theory is
unsound.
solid. The praxis needs
theory,
work.
exactly. That's the dealio.
Yeah, Civil War kind of.
But some that's actually really like taking traction right now is my Vampire the Masquerade Clans video.
Yeah, because you fucking apparently released that around the same time like LA by Night was rapping.
I
or something like
didn't.
that.
I didn't. Fucking Dickhead has been saying this all the time. It's just not true. I watched LA by Night and they wrapped up in like mid-October last year.
Wow, Dickhead lying, shaking my head.
And like
Well, I mean,
my video was released in late January.
Yeah. I mean, Dickhead
Damn.
also really hates Vampire 5, so.
I mean, so do I, because it sucks.
I like
I like a lot about it, but
yeah,
I think you and I probably agree on the things that
Yeah,
are good and
yeah.
agree on the things that are bad.
and it's so painful because the things that are bad are really bad. I've been thinking
And the
about
things that are good are really good. I love
Yeah.
the hunger mechanics.
they're so good, dude. Oh my
Oh
god.
god. I really wish I could port that to V5, to V20 somehow.
Yeah. I've been thinking about making a video on what bloodlines I'd like to see in V5, even though that's of course not going to happen. I'm going to spend a real big chunk of time belaboring the point that that they don't even have like clan specific disciplines anymore, so they're very much not going to have like bloodline specific disciplines, which is where they got all of their interesting identity from.
Yeah. It would be nice to see like clan variants, sort of, especially for fucking the Hakata, because that's like supposed to be like 8 different fucking clans.
Yes!
Like it's so fucking awful. It's like, oh yeah, the Nagaraja and the Giovanni, they're the same thing now.
Yeah, it was such an iconic thing of the the Samedis that they look like corpses, but suddenly
Yeah.
now they don't look like. This is literally in the lore. They don't look like corpses anymore. It's like
They all
why?
just had a big orgy or something.
Yeah.
And then now they're fixed, and they all just do the same thing that Giovanni did the whole time.
It's like, why the fuck did you do this?
Dude, I just want to
I don't know.
play
I
it.
like that those groups came. I like that a lot of those groups came together because it makes sense that the Cappadocians like made like some sort of like new sect or something after they took power.
Yeah.
But the way they're implementing it in mechanical senses is really bad.
Yeah, you can see that it's basically the designers going for, oh, we need to like optimize and clean this up
Yeah.
to make it more accessible to new players, TM.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need, this is like I think they think that D&D is successful because it's accessible to new players, but I don't find D&D particularly accessible in the mechanics. It's accessible
Yeah.
in the way that the book is written.
It's also like 5th edition in D&D in general, like they appeal more to the wider conception of what people understand to be a tabletop RPG because of the fact that it's so prevalent in like our cultural zeitgeist of like, this is Dungeons and Dragons, this is what you do, this is how it works.
I'll be real. I think the only reason 5e took off as well as it did is because it had fantastic marketing.
5e's no.
Oh shit!
Weird.
They cut him off.
Yeah, I'm back. 5e is I disagree because 5e definitely is streamlined and made in a way that makes it is more accessible than 3.5.
I'm not disagreeing with you there. I agree.
And it's way better than 4th edition was.
Oh yeah, straight up. I mean, personally, I'm more a 3.5 guy myself.
Yeah, I like playing Pathfinder. Pathfinder is one of my favorite games.
Like, I have no problem with 5th edition's slimming things down and whatnot. Like, it's a competently designed system.
Yeah.
It's not that fun.
That being said, trying to get a new player to know how to fucking play a kineticist in Pathfinder is a monumental task. I would have a better time teaching the Shadowrun.
A new player to play anything outside of the core rulebook.
No, even then, like trying to tell people how and when they are able to get sneak attack in 3.5 if they've never played before is really difficult.
That's true.
Even some of the basic rules like grappling is like really complex, and if you aren't like if you don't have like 10 years of autistic gamer knowledge on it, you're gonna fuck it up.
I mean,
but to some extent, it doesn't matter that much if you fuck it up.
Yeah,
it's one of those games that I
really
like to play, but I would never want to run.
Pathfinder.
Yeah, I this is like, even for D&D 5, I'm like, I'd like to play it. I don't want to run it, even though I'm going to be running a campaign for it, and I fucking hate it. Because just now that I've gotten into, like, Powered by the Apocalypse, City of Mist, specifically, you know, power tech systems, it's just so much exactly what I specifically, personally want out of role-playing games, that everything else is just like, why am I eating... Actually, this is a bad example because I love eating McDonald's. But, like, why am I eating the freezer section of the supermarket if I could also, like, make fried rice myself? Which is also not an apt analogy because it's not, like, it's of lower quality. It's just a different genre.
Yeah, also freezer section food can be fucking delicious sometimes.
It can if you... I like upcycling it. If there's a lot of, like, freezer section foods that I like to use as ingredients in, like, better dishes.
I'll buy some fucking pizza rolls and then throw them in my air fryer, and it's fucking golden.
Oh yeah.
For me,
you just reminded me of
and I make fish tacos out of them. They're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You just remind me of a TikTok I saw where a dude took chicken McNuggets and basically turned them into fast food Chinese food.
It took
them into orange.
It took me several minutes from whenever this was posted to actually understand this meme freeze. The doors and corners one. Jesus Christ.
Really?
I have COVID. But yeah, I saw this. Andong posted a video recently where he does this with chicken McNuggets, where he makes like some really good dishes with chicken McNuggets. And there's apparently America has something called a German potato salad.
Oh yeah, I think that's like a Texas thing.
Yeah, which I tried out making, and I actually liked it, but I did it with like tater tots.
Oh.
Which was a Chef John recipe. And it was rather good. I liked it. I liked it rather a bit. And now what I have in my fridge is Pittsburgh potatoes, which is quite frankly death. Like you
It's
can't.
too many calories.
It's literally. I'm gonna post a picture of this stuff. It's. The dish is
Oh, yeah,
basically potatoes with cheese casserole.
Oh yeah, I've seen this before. I think
Like a vodka or something.
yeah, it looks like something I've eaten before. Oh yeah, I just want to mention really quick. It's wild to me that there's like a dialect of German that's only spoken in a couple counties around like Abilene and like Waco, Texas.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's called Texan German.
Yeah.
There's something
Course,
like this
Germans
exists
invade.
in.
Entschuldigung.
I don't know if it's. I think it might be Papua New Guinea, or it might be the one next to it. Let me check. This
I
real
think
quick.
Papua New Guinea used to be a German colony.
Yeah, they
so.
also have something like this, which is.
Oh
like-
yeah, Namibia down in Africa. It used to be a German colony, and
Yeah.
they still have like a lot, like in their towns, they still have like German names for their streets and a lot of like buildings that just they look like they're supposed to be in Germany and shit.
I love that basically when it comes to colonialism, like compared to the other colonial powers, Germany was very chill, but then it's
Yeah.
still like
Well, I mean, they did-
unfathomably horrible shit.
Yeah, they were still pretty shitty, but out of compared to like the French and the British
Yeah.
and the Portuguese, they were the least horrible.
Like we had slavery, but you could like white people couldn't enslave black people. They had to buy them off rich black slave owners. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of like which of course then created a whole industry of like just the black slave owners doing the dirty work of enslaving other tribes and selling them to rich Germans.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also, who would believe that the fucking Belgians being like
Oh,
the
yeah.
most cruel?
Also, as far as I understand it too, Germany like had a significantly less industrialized version of their like slave trade.
yeah.
Because like the thing that made white slave trade like way worse, other than the fact that it was like entirely racialized, was because of the fact that it was such a huge scale of like slave trading that it was incomprehensible to most people. Like the amount of like people that were traded to the Americas was insane.
Yeah, if you came to Germany as a black person, as a slave, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, I might be mixing things up, but you'd technically not be a slave anymore, because there were no... Like, you could
mean,
still
for
be an
co-
indentured servant. This was a fucked up thing. So, do you know Sarotti chocolate?
Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think it's a German chocolate brand, but there's a German term "Moor," which is basically a black person, but it's a specific type of where they basically went there to take away like a medicine man or some other educated person, educate them further, and then you just have an intellectual as a house servant essentially to do intellectual type things. Like they'd be teachers and stuff. That's what they shipped black people to Germany for. To like teach rich children the German language and philosophy and shit. And they had like, I mean, obviously they were still, even if they weren't technically slaves, they, you know, but they
Yeah.
had like some position of respect, and it's not in like we like think the house slave is cool because he's like almost white in some respects, but like, oh yeah, this is a black. I think I only found this out rather recently, so I think this is where part of like the German idea of when you see a black person in Germany comes from, like, oh, this must be an educated individual, which is
I don't know.
more.
You started talking about this, and I just remembered. I forgot the dude's name, but Samuel L. Jackson in Django
Yeah.
Unchained,
Yeah.
where it's just like he got to to a pretty big position of power within the system, and then Django comes along, and it's like he just absolutely fucking hates Django.
I love that film because it's like, I know it's like a Quentin Tarantino film where like there's huge fucking gun battles and shit, but it's nuanced. Like, there's a lot of
Yeah,
nuance in that film. Like, the guy, he's still like he's clearly evil. The Samuel L. Jackson guy.
yeah.
Because because he being a victim, he victimizes further. Yeah, sorry, I interrupted
Yeah.
you.
Oh no. It's there's that one dude on YouTube who does the analyzing evil theory.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
video.
he did one on Samuel L. Jackson, and he really got into that character about and about how like how slaves were treated compared to the field slaves. It was really
Yeah.
fucking interesting.
I mean, there's a reason why, like, house N-word is like a derogatory term among African Americans.
Yeah, even among African Americans at the time. I also like how Django's wife was just named took the name Broomhilda. That
Yeah.
was just
Her masters were apparently German.
yeah. Her masters were German, and she spoke German. Yeah, which worked out because the dude, God, I forgot both his names. The dude who
Candy?
took on the dude who took not Tandy, not Candy, the dude who bought Django and
Candy.
No,
His
no,
name-
no.
no,
What he's
no.
talking
Candy's
about, no, what he's
Quavo.
talking about is the German guy.
Oh,
yeah, the German guy who was
Oh,
also in Inglorious Bastards and was the
Yes,
best
Playing as
character.
the actual Nazi.
Christoph
Yeah.
Waltz. I don't remember his character's name. Dr. King.
Doctor, yeah,
King
yeah.
Schultz.
That's
King
it.
Dr.
Schultz,
Schultz.
Dr. Schultz, yeah,
Dr.
yeah,
Schultz,
very.
it has come to my knowledge that you treat this here black person like a regular.
What?
Why?
I also love how Candy.
I actually love that scene. Because he doesn't say to treat him like a white. Because he says he's not like the rest of you. He's like, you want us to treat him like a white person? And he's like, no, not like that. But like, like he starts like struggling to come up with an example of how to treat a person of color who isn't enslaved, not as an equal, but also not as a slave.
Yeah.
I also love that scene from Django where they get surrounded by those fucking white trash fucking white trash clan, and they're all wearing the hoods, and they're like, I can't see shit out of this. And he's like, my wife made them. She did the best she could. And it's like, your wife can't fucking do shit.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was such a good movie.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Quentin Tarantino movies tend to be very good. There's like, I don't think I've ever seen like a bad or just mediocre Quentin Tarantino movie.
Let me think.
Also,
Personally speaking.
I haven't seen Once
don't.
Upon a Time in Hollywood yet, so
I don't like. Kill
Fair
Bill.
enough.
Yeah,
I
know.
understand that. Yeah, Kill Bill
Also-
is less good than his other films.
also
in my
Kill
opinion.
Bill. Also, Kill Bill is like where he, like that one scene where she was in the pickup truck. It's like it was really obvious that he wanted to show off his fetish with feet.
That's in all of his movies, though.
Yeah.
Well, it was like really apparent in Kill Bill that he was like really
was-
showing who.
Of all the movie that I think is most apparent to show off Quentin Tarantino's foot fetish was actually not a film he directed, but a film he was acting in, and that was Dust Till Dawn.
Oh, that's because he can get in there and just really
There is
enjoy
a
the feats.
there is a scene in which Selma Hayek comes up and shoves her fucking toe, does a striptease, and shoves her toe in his mouth, and then pours a bottle of champagne down her leg into his mouth.
Oh, he must have
Damn.
fucking loved that.
That's
Also,
a,
I
that's
did-
a-
If you have not seen that movie, go watch it. Don't look up anything about it. Just go watch it because it has one of the strongest tone shifts of any film I've ever seen.
Nice.
Oh fuck.
Also, I found out that there's like people on YouTube who make historical educational videos just on like processors. Like
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
I've had to do reports on that before. So
Oh, actually,
yeah. So I saw this video on the
it's
Zilog Z8.
incredibly boring.
Well, I enjoy it because I don't know, I'm just kind of into that stuff. But I watched a video on the Zilog Z80 processor, and they showed this ad right here. This ad came out in like 1976, and I just love how it was early enough to where like Zilog knew their consumer base, so they advertised the Z80 around a wargaming table.
this reads like when Encyclopedia in Disco Elysium shows up. It's straight up.
Yeah.
A single chip
Yeah.
N-channel processor arms you with a superset of 158 instructions that include all of the 8080 ACE 75 instructions with a total software compatibility. It's
I fucking love
100%.
this Elysium.
They
Yeah.
know who they're advertising to. They're not advertising the regular people like you and me. They're advertising the nerds who are just going to build computers around this chip.
Also, I actually have a question about Disco Elysium. I'm gonna keep this question basically spoiler free, but
Okay.
it's not
Okay.
entirely because I know you have played it, and I'm asking you.
I have played through it, yeah.
Yeah,
I have yet to play it, and I own it.
Mhm.
if I go
What's up?
to the island, what the game means by is that I can come back from the island, but I can't go back to the island, right? Not that if I go to the island, the game basically I can't get back to Martinez.
The island. Okay, 1 second.
This is
I
pretty
remember-
late game.
Yeah, I think what happens is once you go to the island, it enters a sort of point in which the world is going to change, but you can't do a lot of the other stuff.
Oh, okay, so I should I should do the side quests before that.
Yeah, you should probably do the side quest before.
I'm
that.
trying to specifically the church side quest. I'm trying to do.
I remember that quest. Yeah,
Yeah,
I gotta replay that game
yeah.
because
it's-
I'm sorry. Now that I'm thinking about it, there's a lot that I don't remember about it, so it'd be fun to play again.
yeah.
I might try and play it as a fascist this time, but it's really hard to because they're very accurate in their depiction of fascism, and then it's entirely
Yeah.
fucking stupid.
Yeah. I love the game. I played it a lot today. I actually had resolved my problem because I found a bunch of XP somewhere in like a hidden dialogue option because I was in this situation. I don't know if you've read this in video gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the situation that I had like 2 white checks that I needed to do to progress the story. But they were both like, grayed out. I couldn't do them. They're locked. And I needed like 15 XP to level up and maybe, unlock them.
Yeah,
But I had talked to everyone. I had done all the quests. There was nothing else I could do.
Yeah, I got stuck with that at one point. The thing that I got stuck on is the part where you have to get into the port. Because there's only 3 options for it.
Yeah.
And the options are you can either become a racist.
Yeah, this is what I did.
Yeah.
You can't disavow racism. You just have to learn it.
You have to learn about racism.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have to punch out a fucking 8-foot tall black man.
Yeah. Who is the racist?
Who is the racist? He's a Nazi.
Yeah.
I love Measurehead, honestly.
Or you have to do a fucking supersalt backflip off of a building and land perfectly.
Ah,
Disavow racism. You must first.
And I
move
made my
on.
character really smart, so I was very smart. I could not jump.
The
Or punch
unpromising
someone. I just-
race pupil returns. Oh, I love Measurehead.
Yeah. Oh, hi.
Jesus. Yeah.
I wanted to
That's a
ask
good
you really.
question.
I wanted to ask you: have you lost your sense of taste or smell?
I feel like maybe my sense of taste a bit, but I think this is because I'm like clogged up. I can still taste fine. Other than that, I haven't lost it. That would be fucked up. I love tasting shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, actually, yeah. Last year I caught COVID, and it wasn't really too bad for me, but I lost both my sense of smell and taste, and
That's pretty
That-
cringe.
that was honestly pretty fucking
Gash.
terrible.
How long was
Hey.
this? How long did you lose it for?
I lost it for about a month.
That's fucked
It,
up,
it was
dude.
for yeah. I mean, on the one hand, it was nice, like I could go into a bathroom and not smell anything, but then it's like, yeah, it was like, what the fuck was the point of eating anything nice? I couldn't taste it. I could just like eat garbage
Yeah, I would
and
die.
just be totally fine. Yeah. No, I eventually got around. I eventually just powered through it. I'm glad I'm not one of those people, because apparently some people, it fucked up their sense of taste and smell so bad that all they could taste is like sewage.
Yeah,
And it's like
there's
that.
also some that where it's like basically permanent, which is incredibly
Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that'd
I
be
think
that'd be
My
terrifying.
sister's one of her
Did-
friends got COVID. He wasn't able to taste for like a year,
Yeah.
even after like he'd been.
This
Very-
is what would have
Oh,
happened
fuck.
to me if I was a chef. Like 100%. Then fate would have been like, "Yeah, you fucked it. You are dead now." Although there
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
guy, this fucking guy. What's his name? Grant Archards. This Chicago chef who had like tongue cancer. And then developed like a language of flavor. And he's now like one of the most respected chefs in the world because he couldn't taste
Yeah,
anything
brother.
for 5 years.
Oh, that's cool.
But I assume there was also some massive cash infusions from wealthy people involved there.
Probably. I know that at the one ice cream plant over in Iowa that I pick up from a lot, they have when they develop new ice creams, they have taste testers on their payroll,
Yeah.
and their taste testers have like a $200,000 policy on their tongues.
Yeah, it's like opera singers who insure their voices.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I've also seen how they taste ice cream, and it's so fucking weird when they take like a little tiny spoonful and they put it on a certain part of their tongue and they smack their lips and do all this shit, and then they spit it out.
Oh yeah,
It's
you're
the
talking about the
gayest
one where
shit.
they say aerate the what's it called again? Aerate the
They aerate the ice cream and all that because they try to get all the flavors possible out of it.
I mean, I eat
Yeah.
ice cream like that in public every time, but you know.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I just shovel it into my mouth and then I wonder why my head hurts.
I love ice cream, dude. I can't
Yeah,
leave the house
I
right
bought
now.
myself some Chunky Monkey the other day.
That's honestly the worst bit
Yeah.
is that I can't leave the house to get ice cream and shit.
Yeah, it's
We
pretty
did it.
cringe.
Yeah, ice cream really hits a spot when you're sick,
Yeah.
especially if you got like a sore throat.
Which I do. I just saw a fucking picture of Christopher Walken on Twitter. I'm like, oh no.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be the emperor
Yeah,
in
he's gonna be
Dune.
in Dune. That's
Yeah.
wait, Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Is gonna be
Or
the
like
emperor. Yeah.
Christopher
Christopher
walk out.
Walken.
What?
Jesus Christ.
I can see it.
Yeah, now I just imagine
know.
like what if Danny DeVito was like a Baron Harkonnen?
Oh damn. Danny DeVito should have played Paul Atreides, dude. They should have made
betrayed.
Dune like remember those like there was a phase where there were like comedy films coming out of the United States where it was like the same guy, usually Eddie Murphy, playing all the characters. They
Oh,
should
yeah,
do
like
Dune
the-
like
the-
that, and it's just fucking him.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Clumps. That was
Yeah.
the Clumps. Where the only character he didn't play from that family was like the little boy who still looked like he weighed like 300 pounds.
That was fucking wild. Like that was that was a strange phase in cinema, I feel like.
Okay, now I remember that scene from where he goes on a date as like, regular Eddie Murphy, and he's driving around in that Dodge Viper, and then all of a sudden he becomes fat again while in the Dodge Viper. It's just he gets fat right away, and then like his foot gets so big that it just causes the Viper to just take off and crash.
Yeah.
And then they have to, and then they have to pry him out.
I
They have
remember
to get the jaws of life and pry him
not
out.
being
Anyway,
allowed
sorry.
to watch those to the end because I had bedtime, but we'd be watching it like Saturday night at the boys' home, and we'd have like 10 minutes left. They're like, "What are you still doing up? You need to go to bed half an hour earlier tomorrow. Now fuck off." That was very funny. It's Eurovision on
Going to bed's
Saturday,
pretty
by the way.
cringe.
It's
Oh yeah,
fucking-
I was gonna say we doing the stream, boyos.
Yeah. I was gonna be running a game of City Mist, which I'm now gonna be doing online, and then we were gonna like IRL watch it. But now I'm gonna be watching it here. I'm gonna open this
Alright,
file
man.
later. Actually, I should probably do that. Oh my god.
I'm still like gonna watch Eurovision.
Pretty cringe of COVID to do that all to you, man.
I fucking like we were gonna play like a couple of weeks ago, but then another player got COVID.
Excuse me.
Lol.
I'm very irritated about this because it's like I finally have like a group of players. This isn't actually all too accurate. I often have a group of players that wants to actually play and like invest themselves into the game, but there's always like some weird shit that goes wrong, and I hate that.
Yeah, no, that's
I
fair.
I haven't played D&D in ages because nobody gets invested in the crap, especially the DM. Holy frick!
Yeah.
For me, I really.
Oh
want to
yeah,
play-
I pre-ordered Spelljammers.
I actually did. If when the time comes, I will not discuss this on a public live stream.
Wait until the live stream is over,
Yeah,
Burger.
that's probably a good idea.
Spelljammers.
Because I've
like,
wanted to. So a while. So there's. You know how in my last video I was like I lost like a fucking week's worth of research. Yeah, I was researching Spelljammer. Because I wanted to do a video on Spelljammer, but I realized very late into the process that the Astral Sea and the Phlogiston are not the same thing. Because but it's just referenced sometimes as the Phlogiston being the Astral Sea, but it's actually part of the Prime Material Plane. Yeah. Basically, they're gonna change I was gonna do like the lore of Spelljammer because it came out 30 years ago, but 5e is gonna change that lore. Like I already know this because of the wording that they use in their promotional material. Which is fine because what you have at this point is like you have all of the Spelljammer shit which happens in the Phlogiston, which is a space between different worlds, but you also have the astral plane where you also have spaceships called astral barges that are not Spelljammers, and it's a different plane of existence, and it fills the same niche in the lore, but it's different things, and that's dumb.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Friggin' Spelljammer.
I look
More like
forward.
a type Jeller.
Fam, that was the first joke you've ever made that didn't land.
Bro,
What are you
that was
talking
cringe.
about? They always land.
That was the first one. This has never happened. I've been watching the Obama nature documentary,
Yeah,
What?
brother.
the fucking national parks
Oh,
one, and
fucking
he like
God.
starts off talking about like, I love nature, and we all should do everything in our power to protect it, and it's important. And I'm like, what? You were for 8 years, you were the most powerful human being that had lived up until that point
And
in
you
time.
didn't do shit.
Given the mental state of Donald Trump and Joe Biden, he still might be the most powerful human being that has ever lived, right?
Yeah.
And he
And
didn't do
he
shit.
didn't do shit. Like, what the fuck are you talking? And he's like, it's just lib propaganda. It's like, nature is disappearing because of our collective actions that we all make, our decisions that we make as consumers. It's like, no, motherfucker. It's because of the decisions of a very, very small group of very, very powerful people, of which you are one. Like, when David, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
I cut you off too, so.
I just want to mention, like, when you do get a chance to come here to the States, definitely check out a couple national parks. It doesn't matter which ones,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they're fucking gorgeous. They're so fucking beautiful. You know,
I'm-
I'd recommend Glacier National Park and Yellowstone. Those are my two favorites.
I love the nature shots too in this doco. I like them. And it's not just American national parks. He's been to Madagascar and shit. But
Oh yeah.
when David Attenborough is like, we have to save nature, otherwise we will all fucking die. At least he's like a
Yeah.
scientist who's been saying this, and not the literal most powerful person in the world who just refused to do jack shit. Like,
It reminds me of like seeing these tweets from Joe Biden where he's like, "We have to stand up and protect Roe v. Wade." And it's like,
Yeah.
you're the most powerful person in the world.
yeah,
Do something.
yeah.
You know, it's like, what the fuck happened to all those executive orders that Trump did? It's like, what happened to that power? It's like, why can't you just do that? Just say like, oh, Roe v. Wade is protected for like a certain number of years while we get this shit figured out.
Anyway, it's been time, and I'm gonna end the stream.
Yeah,
Live
let's-
COVID. Good night.
Good night.